whole intro's off. What am I supposed to do?
What am I supposed to
What am I
do?
supposed to
What do we do here, guys?
do? I guess. What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 45 of Tardy to the Party, aka T3P, the weekly podcast centered around news and reviews of that holy trinity of pop culture, Marvel, DC, and Star Wars. I'm your boy Jsib, and to my left, to you guys now, yeah, still to my left, yes.
Possibly. KP here.
We'll find out in post. And to not my right, that's probably pretty obvious. The bull is
Yeah.
not here. The bull is out of town this week, I believe, right? Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, down at the Ozarks.
Yeah, that's right. The Ozarks. I was pretty sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, we are zooming it up this week. So apologies. I already know KP's audio is way crisper and cleaner than mine. So apologies on my end. It'll get cleaned up next time, promise. So how are you,
Dude,
bud? How was your week?
I'm good. Speaking of like this intro kind of being off, I totally forgot to even do the chant with you. Like because this is so foreign, like doing it
Honestly,
this
it probably
way.
worked out for the best. Who knows if it would have even synced up correctly?
That is correct. Yeah. Didn't even think of that. So I guess good mistake. And I'm sure all of you wondering there as I'm now looking into the camera, but I'll kind of keep glancing over here because technically I got our meeting on my monitor over here
I'll
with
tell you,
my setup.
it's gonna
So
be
I'll be going back and forth with my eyes between the two, probably driving the majority of you who are watching this absolutely fucking nuts, but that's okay. My week's been amazing. I heard your question. It flew by actually. Very weird that it did, but usually I don't have that. Usually by Wednesday, I'm like, Jesus Christ, where is Friday? But mine flew by. How did yours been, man?
uh didn't fly but didn't drag. So it's not bad.
Oh, a nice steady pace of the
It was,
week.
yeah, nice steady pace. It was quite busy. So
Yeah, yeah. So, did you get all your stuff out of your old house?
it's not out, but it's all packed up.
Baby steps.
Baby steps. So it's basically all
Yeah.
boxed up and it's all set in a room ready to be picked up tomorrow. And then the cleaning process begins, and then we finally get to put it up on the market and get
That's
rid of that
awesome,
fucker.
man.
So I don't have to pay the mortgage on it anymore. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Sick of it.
Dude, I was just talking with that with my boss at work, and her and I have actually been friends for 10 years, but which if you know where I work, well, you probably already knew that. But anyways, her and I were talking like how, if I ever wanted to move out of the house I'm in now, which I like my house that I'm in now, it's fine, but it's just like kind of crazy to think of that of like how, oh shit, like I would literally there's no way like on my salary I could have like my current mortgage, my car loan, and then also be like potentially getting into a mortgage for a new house, because like if you have that hang up between I bought this new house that I want to move into, but then I still have my old one because it hasn't sold yet. It's like shit. Like there's no way I could have my Jeep on a loan to afford both mortgages and that Jeep note. Like I don't know. And why I thought of that is because obviously, like, I do like where I live, but I kind of wish I was a little more in the city of Bloomington where I live. But those houses are also way more expensive than what even mine cost, and they're in a horrible, horrible shape. I got extremely lucky with my house purchase, but I'll stop bragging. Exciting though, dude. Though I mean it. I mean it. Like that's awesome that you guys are finally like kind of fully, getting into where you're at now, and that's always exciting. So congrats.
Yeah, it's definitely taken long enough for sure, but it'll be nice when it's finally done.
Hey, I
Um,
mean, things take time when you do it all yourself. You guys did a lot of like renovations yourself, to the one you're in now, and when you don't pay people, like, yeah, you got to do it yourself and find the time. And it's definitely the smarter thing to do. Like, my lazy ass would have just been like, nope, fuck this. I'm paying someone. I don't care if it costs two, three, four, $5,000. That's me because that's who I am, which is financially irresponsible.
Yeah, I just noticed. Yeah, we're still in it so much that my light switch back there
Oh, yeah,
still
yeah,
still
yeah.
no cover on it.
Shit, dude, it's whatever. I mean, shit,
It's gonna
man.
bug the shit. I'm putting that on later today.
Shit, man. You can see this printer I've got behind me with with its own cable over it because, like, I just really don't have any. I don't even have a need for that damn thing anymore, and it just kind of sits there on that file cabinet, and it's like I've got this makeshift nice bookshelf with all my stuff behind me, and then there's that ugly damn thing in the corner.
Hey, but when you need it though, it's there.
That's true. That's true.
All right, let's get into the news. The very
Yeah.
little amount that we possibly could have.
I was gonna say this will probably be a
Um,
pretty quick one today. So
to start off, I guess we'll start with the well, and with the potential juicy news.
okay.
But it has been reported that Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is now expected to not be delayed from its December release date. There were
Oh,
rumors that it was going to get pushed back to next year. It is still rumored though that Dune 2 is still going to get pushed back.
good,
So
because then maybe my Marvels can actually get its IMAX. God, dude.
I guess they're finally just, you know what, fuck it, it's dead. We're gonna make just as much or little money next year. We might as well just get it out and get it over with. All right.
Hey, you know what? Hey, we are who we are, and like we said, we love to watch tons of shit, just movies, TV shows in general, because it's our nice escapism from reality. And you know what? I'm happy it's not being delayed because I love watching movies. I love watching TV shows. Not all the time, constantly, but I still love to watch them. Fucking Christ. My name's Kevin. I'm basically like Kevin Smith. I don't really shit on things too much unless it's absolutely horrendous.
I I'm really curious how this one's gonna do because it's it was our only $1 billion movie in the Snyderverse or the DCEU.
It's got to have special effects out the ass then, because it's, yeah, the fact that it's the only one, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of insane. It just did so well internationally. Like it killed it internationally, the first one. So
Yeah,
we'll see if it can
so weird too, because
still have that momentum.
it's so weird too, because man, I'll tell you, man, just Aquaman. I mean, good God, don't they make fun of it even in like Harley Quinn and other shit? Like they just always joke about how he's like this B lister, yeah, he's a part of the originals, but like no one cares about this guy. Oh, Big Bang Theory does a good job of it. Like no one wants to be Aquaman when they all dress up for Comic Con or Halloween. Like,
Yeah.
so, it's just so funny that out of all of them, that's the one that does the best.
Yeah, I know. Like if before you came to me back in a very young Sib back in the day and be like, all right, this universe is going to start. Only one of these movies is going to make a bill. Like you got a Superman movie, Man of Steel. You got Batman versus Superman. You got a Justice League movie, Wonder Woman. All these movies, only one of them makes a bill, and it's
Aquaman.
Aquaman. All right,
Yeah,
and I'd be
I
like,
would have laughed,
what?
and everyone would
Huh?
everyone would have laughed in your face if you're some asshole coming up and saying that. Like, yeah, dude, fucking bet you $1 million, bet you $1 billion that this one makes $1 billion over the others. Like over Superman? What? No.
But it did
Apparently,
it.
it
So
did
we'll
do it.
see. Maybe this is the only shot of the last remnants of the DCEU that has a remote chance of making any money. But yeah, we'll see.
Warner Brothers kind of did it to themselves, but yeah, I don't know. I'm still excited for this. So
I am as well. Hopefully, I mean, despite the rumors or reports of it going through terrible test screenings and all that. Apparently,
Well,
it's been
like
a
you
mess,
said,
but
I think the first Wonder Woman, the same thing happened, and look how well received that movie was. So
it's very true. Speaking of Wonder Woman, good transition there, KP. There have been reports. I think it comes from CBR.com in an interview. Um, Gal Gadot spoke about how apparently she's in development with James Gunn and Peter Safran to develop a Wonder Woman 3. So
yeah,
apparently, even though the Patty Jenkins scripted one is scrapped, it looks like potentially
yeah,
Gal Gadot is still on board to continue as Wonder Woman in the new DCU.
yeah, which
I'm going to
is
let you
like,
give your thoughts before I give mine.
um, I'm fine with it. I think that maybe the reason they're still wanting to go with her is because maybe they realize that fans really like her as Wonder Woman. Also, I feel like I don't know. To me, it's like that character also has the thing with Captain Marvel, right? Like everyone shits on Brie Larson. There's the whole mantra of like, oh, do the fans even really want her? Well, the thing about my counterpoint to that is like, okay, the actress isn't bad. It's just she gets in general hate on the internet. But really, more the point I'm trying to make here is who the hell else is going to play her? I don't really know. Like certain actresses don't really ever come to mind of like who would play Wonder Woman. I was actually trying to think of something. That's why I paused. Who would play Wonder Woman, honestly, other than Gal Gadot right now? And the other thing, and I hate to say it, and I know that this is like a not popular ship. And I use that word. I'm using that word as in relationship. But the fact that her age, she's still like around that 40 years old age, and hopefully the Batman that they're going to get is around the same age. So then we can continue how they should be together because fuck that Superman and Wonder Woman bullshit that was in New 52.
Okay.
Hey, I think he said at one point this was going to be loose. His whole universe and shit was going to be loosely based off the Justice League cartoon from the 2000s. And god damn it, in the DCAU, those two are always shipped. Or at least she had the hots for Batman. Batman just never cared because he's Batman. But whatever. Like, yeah, those two
Still the same,
deserve each
Marty.
other. So I'm fine with it as long as we get like again a Batman that would be around the same age because obviously Corrin Sweat's only like 30, so like they're going with a younger Superman. So I'm fine with it.
I would agree. I like
Yeah,
the Batman Wonder Woman dynamic. I kind of always there's times where I like him with Selena Kyle, but then there's other times I'm just like it doesn't really make sense. And then there's
it,
Talia, which is like that's always
hey,
short lived anyway. So whatever.
yeah, with Talia, that's always a story of like. Well, God, I mean, if they go the really dark DC methods, it's a whole thing of like she drugs him or something, and
hmm
basically like, sounds like she pulls a Bill Cosby on a billionaire, but
I
the
mean,
the the
you're not
thing
wrong.
I know, so and we'll see how they want to play it in this new movie since obviously it's Damien but
you, you drug me. Can't drug the Batman.
I'm not supposed to have sex. um yeah, but the Selena thing, you know what, since you already have a whole nother universe, leave that to the Pattinson universe. Leave exploring that dynamic to that universe.
That's a good
Leave it
point,
there.
actually, because I actually do like the dynamic that they have built up in the Reeseverse.
Right.
I like that Catwoman and Batman dynamic there better than probably most. I don't know. It just depends on how it's written. There's sometimes it's like this relationship just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand. And then there's other times it's like written in a way where I'm like, okay, I buy this. This makes sense to me. And the Reeves verse, I buy it and I like it. So that would be nice actually, because I feel like they do need to do that in a lot of ways if they're going to have these Elseworld stories, especially the Reeves verse basically being a whole universe of its own in the Batman ethos. It will be
Yeah.
nice to be like, yeah, like Reeves verse, younger Batman, Selena Kyle, more grounded. DCU maybe a more mythological, fantastical Batman that's older, has the full Bat family with him, or most of the Bat family at least, and hopefully is into Wonder Woman.
Yes.
Because I feel
I
like they
think
do need
the
to do that. Like you need to have those similarities, but you need to also have those contrasting differences to make it different enough to. Because otherwise, it's like, well, why am I watching these two different versions?
right. I think the other reason it works so well in the Reeves verse, or at least why you're not sitting there like questioning the relationship, if you will, is that like she wasn't really full on. I mean, I guess she was a cat burglar at that one point when he catches her, but she was kind of more acting as an anti-hero or
Mm-hmm.
like like a like in that sort of nature in that entire movie. Whereas like the Nolan in Dark Knight Rises, she's straight up just a thief, a cat burglar. And then later she kind of basically feels guilty because she sold out Batman, who then she realizes real quick, oh, that's Bruce Wayne. And like then she kind of wants to, do her due diligence in redeeming herself for that. But and so like that's where, it's always weird to me that their relationship even exists because at the end of the day, it's like, well, she's such a criminal. And Bruce is like so against them.
Yeah, I know that's where it always just doesn't
But the
jive with me. It's like if
but the Reeves verse is like they're both young. He kind of catches her in the act of trying to steal something, but then it ends up being that she was really just trying to, I think, get her hands on information, right? For Falcone.
I think she was trying to get. If I remember
I
right,
got
she
to
was
go
trying to
back.
get
I
information on her dad.
should, yeah, I should go back. That's a retro review we should do. Like, is that movie?
I'd be down. I really
Yeah,
love
I
that
love
movie.
that movie. It is super long, but I still love that movie. I burnt myself out on it when it first came out because I mean we saw it in the theater, and then I think I
Mm-hmm.
when it came to digital, um,
Yeah, I think I
I
rewatched it when it
watched.
came out on digital too. Yeah.
I did, but I rewatched it like two times within like a week and a half of each other because I was
Oh
just
god.
yeah, because I was just in love with the movie. I loved the movie. And but I will say that second time I was like, God, okay, I've burnt myself out on this movie because it's like, holy shit, this is long and just burnt myself out on it. But yeah, I should go back and rewatch it.
Thank God they cut that one Joker scene though. Yeah.
I did go watch that scene, and yeah, I'm not a fan of like
Like nope.
the whole like his cheek is missing entirely, so you see all of his teeth. And then essentially it looks like he's got way too many teeth. Like he's like some deformed individual that like maybe never lost any teeth or I don't know. It's just I remember seeing it. It was so weird looking.
So we have a potential issue.
Uh-oh.
We are running out of time. For unlimited meetings, upgrade to Zoom One Pro Plus. Save up to 16% when you choose an annual plan. Thanks, Zoom.
Are you
So
fuck I thought you
so
got up to like wow. Did not I that sucks. Huh.
So we might have to cut this and resume on a different platform.
Yeah, that's really stupid.
We have 9 minutes left.
Huh. Wow.
Is there a way to do this on Discord?
That's a good question, actually.
Well, I guess we are going to have to cut this. So you guys probably don't want to hear us fucking troubleshoot our problems for the next 9 minutes.
Right.
So I guess we will cut this and then we will, yeah, we'll resume this on the other side and something else. So this is going to be a real hodgepodge episode. Thanks, Bull. Thanks. This is on you, bud. It's all on you.
It is.
See you on the other side. All right. Back from the other side, as they say. I think we were talking about the Batman.
Yeah.
Kyle and all that jazz, but
well, really, we were talking about how Gal Gadot apparently is working on a Wonder Woman 3 set in the DC. That's going to be a part of the DCU with Gunn and Safran. And then I just basically commented that I didn't care. I think we both kind of agreed that we didn't care that they're keeping Gal Gadot, who's now like probably, I think she's about 40 years old as an actress, because if they're going to obviously go with a Batman that's probably around the same age. So having those two as being a little older of actors is, just is what it is. And we're fine with that. Then Superman kind of being younger is just also just how it's going to apparently be. We were basically, yeah, it kind of stemmed into, we were talking about the confusing dynamic of how Selena Kyle usually gets written to be Batman's love interest when in like the Justice League cartoon, and then even in Snyder's DCEU, it seemed like he was kind of going to ship Batman with Wonder Woman there, like they were building something up with that. That's kind of where we left off before we had to cut to switch over to this fantastic application, which has now made me switch my devices entirely. I personally do not like. I was very much wanting to use my whole entire streaming setup just to be able to do this, and now I'm on this laptop and I just kind of hate it, but it is what it is.
yeah, I'm probably coming through really quiet right now. This will be fixed next time, though, for sure. But so
I mean, well, hopefully we don't have to do it this way for a next time for a long time.
Yeah. But I'm so confused by this announcement. And let me preface this by saying I love Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Absolutely. I adore her as Wonder Woman. But what the fuck, James? This is true. What the fuck?
I kind of figured she would have been done and they would have recasted her to be if I have to be 100% honest. I don't really understand how this is going to even work.
This is going to confuse the hell out of general audiences. It's just going to confuse the absolute fuck out of them when this.
Yeah,
I feel like.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with Aquaman. I mean, I think they want Momoa to stay on as Aquaman, don't they? Or am I wrong?
I don't really know. It almost, in a way, they're at least making it seem that way. But
well, I mean,
I don't know. I still don't think he was that jazzed about continuing on as Aquaman when he walked out of the studios that one day. I still think there's a potential that this is his last Aquaman, and then he's going to move on to Lobo, or somehow. Even wilder idea. He's both.
Well, it's very confusing because they made Muschietti and the team for Flash do all those last-minute edits, but they kept in an end-credit scene where Ezra Miller's saying to him, yeah, it turns out in like every universe, like you and I always look the same and are the same person. Again, kind of telling us, at least to me, you're telling me then he will still be Aquaman going forward, because again, Flash is apparently supposed to be this reset button, but then again, they did the whole Clooney thing as just a gag, so it's like, again, like you said, in general, very confused by this. I don't really understand the move unless they just don't care. Unless they fully believe that since general audiences didn't go see the DCEU movies anyway, or the fan following was so low, they just feel like maybe they can just get away with this and no one will really give 2 cents about it, other than people like us that are like diehard fans that spend a whole shitload of our time kind of dissecting this stuff. I just, yeah. When the tweet got sent out, and I think our page, like, you retweeted it, I was just like, what the? My initial thought was like, what the fuck? I thought they were all done. Like, what do you mean you're working on a third film? And is it just a third film? Like, is it even like? I guess, hang on, let me rephrase that. Is it even a sequel film? Like, is it really like a part of what her trilogy was supposed to be? Or is it just a third film and they're just like, yeah, we're keeping Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman because we'd be stupid to try to replace her?
It will be interesting to see if it's actually Wonder Woman 3 or if it's just the third Wonder Woman movie that she's going to be in. And maybe it is kind of like a soft reboot of her character too. It's just really, I don't get it. Like you get rid of, I mean, okay, so
the verdict's out on Patty Jenkins, and unfortunately her Rogue Squadron shit got axed, so we'll never really know. Like, was it her or was it Geoff Johns who just wanted to make a cheesy ass movie? Because isn't that the whole thing about 1984? Is we don't really know who was really to blame there for that movie being the dumpster that it was.
Geoff Johns. That's who I always blame now.
I mean, I think that makes sense because
one of my favorite comic book writers, but can't stand anything he's touched in TV or movies. Okay.
Well, we've talked about it before, even when 1984 came out, and I'll be honest, I'd have to look. I don't remember if he helped her write or who wrote the script for the first one. So
the first one, I think, was Patty and maybe Zach. I know Zach was pretty hands-on with the first one. I don't know.
That makes sense. It was still his universe.
Because I know he was like one of the executive producer on it and everything, and I'm pretty sure he had I think Patty wrote most of, if not, maybe just Zach had little knowledge bits. He's like, oh, well, this is how I would do it in this universe or something like that. Just gave her little nudges to certain ways, but then she actually crafted the script. But back to the Aquaman thing. I think the whole reason he was even in the post-credit scene was just to try to keep his movie relevant. Show hey, he still matters. This movie still matters. And I kind of think the line, I took that line that he said about existing, we're the same in every universe. I took that as a joke, honestly, because in the universe that he was in, there was no Aquaman. It was the dog. Like Arthur was the dog. And the way he described Arthur was like a dog. Like you're all loyal, hairy, blah blah blah. Like he basically just described the Aqua dog, and was like, "You're the same in every universe." So I took that as a joke. So I still think it's definitely a possibility that my theory, Chris Pratt, is going to be the new Aquaman, just because of the little mermaid emojis that Gunn's been using with Pratt. Could be nothing. Could just be me in a giant tinfoil hat. But that's my theory.
I personally think Chris Pratt would actually be a good casting for an Arthur Curry.
As much as I want him to be Booster Gold, I agree. I would be very intrigued to see him as Arthur Curry.
Mainly because he, fits the kind of more comic book traditional,
more classical, the more classic
look, the shorter hair. I think Chris Pratt has had blonde-ish in his hair before, but I mean, it's nothing that they could probably just dye it, or not, whatever, however they want to do it. But no, I'm just saying. I mean, I could see it.
But yeah, I'm still baffled that no Cavill, no Batfleck, which Batfleck makes sense. He was miserable in the role. So
yeah,
he probably wasn't coming back anyway. Okay, so here's my theory. As I know, there's a lot of people that are clearly upset. I'm also slightly upset. Like I said, love Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. Still happy to kind of see her come back. It's just it doesn't make sense to me how necessarily you're going to keep her, but then cut Cavill. But my theory would be
so weird.
My theory is
they hate each other.
He's made it a point. He's made it a point that he's wanted a younger Superman. Now, granted, I still think Henry can look a younger Superman, but
you can't have a 40-year-old guy though playing a. I mean, you could, but you can't.
He could still pull off 30.
Right now, but the problem is in like 5 years, it's like shit. I mean, it's like Tom Cruise. I'm watching all the Mission Impossibles right now. You can only pull it off for so. Even he could only pull it off for so long. I mean,
he's still don't you talk shit about the goat. He's the goat.
I'm just saying, dude, if you've seen him recently, I mean, his age is finally showing on him. But he's 61 years old. But anyways, that's my argument there is that, yeah, you're right. Cavill could pull it off now, but who's to say in 5 years' time he could still pull it off? Looking 10 years younger. Probably not.
If Hugh Jackman can do it, Cavill can do it.
Okay, here again.
Again.
It is Wolverine, though. He has healing factor.
I do. My theory, though, as to why, definitively, why he couldn't bring back Cavill is I wonder if he really wanted to write a story where Ma and Pa Kent were both around. Because there are stories where Pa Kent is still around. It does, it's not as solidified. And I mean, usually, Pa Kent does die, but it's not as solidified like Spider-Man, where it has to happen in the beginning to make him understand his responsibility with his new powers. Like, so if that ends up being the case, I think that just kind of hammers home definitively, well, this is why Cavill couldn't come back. Because, I mean, spoiler, Kevin Costner's gone. He gone. So, I mean, if he was wanting to tell and write a story where both the Kents were still around, to me, it makes sense then. It makes a little bit more sense. I'm still wondering how Gal is coming out. Like, it kind of made sense that this just doesn't make sense. I kind of just wish at this point they would have just, I don't know. I wish they would have went a little more heavy on the reboot, because at this point it just kind of seems like, we're keeping pretty much everybody except the big two.
Yeah, because I think
reboot.
See, you're saying that, and I think I saw where, I don't know, someone, I think this might have just been a theory I saw, and take it with a grain of salt. But I want to say I even saw somewhere where Zachary Levi's like not actually out of the picture. And again, take it with a grain of salt. That's me seeing like, I think a random fucking tweet from God knows what on X.com.
X gonna give it to you.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't get, because I mean the verdict's still out on Ezra, and then
they gone. They gone.
They gone. Okay.
They gone. They ain't coming back. You did see how that movie Fell flat on its fucking face.
Yes, I did. I'm actually waiting for that damn thing to get on Max because it's supposed to be dropping on there soon.
Oh yeah, I would imagine.
I'm in the vast minority of people that are like, fuck yeah, I can't wait for that to come on Max because I'm gonna watch it again.
I'm gonna watch it again. Let's say I'll be excited to watch it again. I liked it. It's just
There's no one else did or cared to go see it really.
I'd say I don't think people went to know if they did. They saw all the terrible gifs that were on xgonegiveittouya.com and they're just like, oh, that movie looks like shit.
It's gonna be one that people are gonna stream the shit out of it, and that's just a problem with the whole industry. That's the whole fucking issue with everything in the industry right now. So, anyways, yeah, very interesting move to kind of keep a third of the previous universe's big three. So weird.
Just make it make sense. I don't know.
God damn.
I don't know.
This is like they're gonna make a documentary on this. The movie universe that never was. And like, you're gonna have this like piece towards the end of like, yeah, then these dickheads at Warner Brothers talked to this actor and brought him all the way back just to say, fuck you, dude, right like 6 months later. Like mainly because a movie with one of the highest earning fucking stars of all time, The Rock, didn't do shit. Because you fucked it up 7 years ago in the first place. God, it's aggravating, dude. I'll admit, I'm fired up because it was either Culture Crave or a different Screen Projects or whatever the handle is. It gave this list of like movies that Zack Snyder's Justice League started to set up but never saw a light of day. And there was like 8 different projects that legitimately it's like, yeah, all of this should have happened. Never fucking did. It's like Superman 2, Ben Affleck's Batman, a Flash Cyborg movie, The Atom, because he is like the character's there in the movie.
Yep.
Obviously,
so it's supposed to be a solo cyborg movie.
Right, that and then of course like Justice League 2 with Darkseid and then potentially a third movie. But anyways, that's like why I'm kind of fired up on this right now because I just kind of read that. I'm like, yeah, like we should have had all this badass shit. Oh, not to mention get a really well done live action Green Lantern and Martian Manhunter on screen. We're never going to have that. So, or at least from that universe. I don't know.
Right.
Obviously, I can't say.
I got what you meant.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm just fired up by it because I was like, God, that's just aggravating.
Oh, it's so frustrating, but
yeah.
I don't know. Like this news is like just very bittersweet to me. I'm happy to see that she's still going to go on and play the role, Lover, but just God, my boy Cavill, no.
Hey man, it's just a gamer that wants to make a Warhammer 40K movie, dude. So, oh shit, I can't hear you. Uh-oh. Say something.
Hello?
There you go.
I don't know why my mic was randomly muted. Button's like all the way up here. That reminds me, I saw a tweet the other day of somebody with the screen capture of when Cavill was building his PC. And it like, I can't remember how many years ago. It was like, it's been this many years. I was like, Cavill, we need an updated version of you upgrading your PC build now. And I was like, you should actually. Watch it. I would too. But I think as far as news, that's
I'm trying to upgrade mine, but 1, shit's expensive, and 2, I don't know what I'm fucking doing. So
yeah, it's gonna be Yeah, I'm far away from upgrading my PC.
Yeah, anyways, back to old Henry or what you were gonna say. That was my bad.
Oh, yeah, that was it. Just the whole PC building thing, and yeah, it's really it. I believe for DC, unless it's Saturday. Any breaking news?
Oh, I gotta log into old
Probably not.
X.com.
Old X gonna give it to you, dog. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't look like. I mean, there's those comments that The Rock made, but about Shazam or Black Adam. My bad. But I feel like he kind of just reiterated what he's already said. Like he literally verbatim also like repeated his previous quote about new ownership coming into a sports team. But I mean, he's also like not wrong. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and say the quote. So this was it looked like it was like a podcast between him and Kevin Hart, or just an interview with him and Kevin Hart. And Mr. Hart asked him, about the Black Adam and basically what all happened with it, the downfall. And he said, The Rock said, quote, "I think that Black Adam got caught in a vortex of new leadership, and at the time, as we were creating Black Adam, developing it, shooting Black Adam, we got knocked down a little bit because of COVID and the shutdowns. Got back up. There were so many changes in leadership. And as you know, anytime you have a company, but especially the size and of that magnitude, you have all those changes in leadership. You have people coming in who creatively, fiscally are going to make decisions that you may not agree with philosophically. So I think Black Adam was one of those movies that got caught in a web of new leadership, and that will always be one of the biggest mysteries, not only for me and us on our end, but also throughout our business." Continuing on, quote, "That was a question out of Wall Street. That was a question out of Hollywood. That was a question like, wait a second, you had your biggest opening of your career. Sure, no China. That could have made maybe 100, maybe 200 million more. You're establishing a new hero. You want to go out. You want to grow out the franchise. You bring back Superman and Henry Cavill. The world went crazy. And also, too, you were texting me this opening weekend. We created a diverse superhero portfolio where you had men and women of color and Black Adam, too, as well." Quote, "And I think as business-minded people, you and I always thinking audience first. Yes, we look at and respect the bottom line economically, but also when you think about opportunity, creating things that are fresh and delivering things for the audience, which is our number one boss. When that wasn't looked at through the lens, it made things a little more challenging for guys like you and me. We're like, you sure you want to do this? But at the end of the day, it's like an ownership coming in, buying a new NFL or buying an NFL team and going like, not my head coach, not my quarterback. Doesn't matter how many times you won the Super Bowl. Doesn't matter how many wins we got. I'm going with somebody else."
Oh, that's relatable as I look at some $300 piece of paper I bought to slap my name on the share of something. Yeah. Yeah, I actually can't wait for like in the next 2 to 3 months to see if that type of decision was actually the right one. Because then if it wasn't, then my team's going through all those changes all over again. Because I can't imagine you're going to keep your job if that guy doesn't pan out. Anyways, I don't disagree with anything he says there. It's just like he said. I think it's just unfortunate. I mean, it
I
is.
agree.
I just went on a rant about how unfortunate and pissed off I am about it. So,
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's just, I agree. I think he's completely right. It kind of it's such a bummer, man. Like 15 years he basically put into trying to get this project off the ground, and when it finally drops, it's in just a fucking shitstorm of the company selling, new leadership. Like 2-3 weeks after Cavill being back, Safran and Gunn are officially like announced as the new leaderships of the new DC studios, and then it's just a complete 180 from where it seemed like we were going.
Yeah, so it's just it sucks, man. Like it does because I enjoyed Black Adam. It wasn't it wasn't anything amazing. It definitely
Bro, it's
the
fucking
script the
awesome.
script the
Doctor
script
Fate
felt
was
15 years
amazing.
old. I'll tell you that. But
Mm.
like especially like the skateboard kid, fuck off, get him out of there.
Well,
But
I mean, yeah.
keep the kid. Just get rid of the fucking skateboard. Or the
What
use
is
of the skateboard, where it's like,
1990s?
oh, I'm gonna get off of
Jesus.
it just to get back on it up here. It's like, why did you fucking whatever? Just whatever.
Go back to the
But I
2000s and play Pro Skater 2. Good God.
and what's sad is it's it was viewed as a failure because it barely made 400 mil or something like that. But since Black Adam, it's been the most profitable box office run for the DC EU since. Just pathetic. Goddamn Aquaman 2, please. Please Blue Beetle, actually. Please Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle, dude. They got that one first.
See, that's the thing though, is I would be ecstatic if that movie makes like 400 or 500 mil. Aquaman, I feel like at least has to make 500-600 mil. I mean, it's coming off $1 billion first movie. If it doesn't at least make half of that back again, realistically, it should make like 800 million, but it probably ain't. Let's be real.
Probably not.
I think we'll be very lucky if it even reaches 500-600 mil numbers.
Right.
The way this thing's been trending. But that's it. That's the DC news this week. We got 2 reviews coming up, but yeah. Let's go. Oh, I wonder how that meeting went. Didn't they meet yesterday? Didn't the studios? Oh wait, that was with the actors, right?
Was that
I think they finally? Yeah, I think it was with the actors. I think they were open to renegotiating. I think with the actors.
I don't think anything got resolved. I saw a tweet here of Jamie Lee Curtis was somewhere for. I think that it'd probably be for Haunted Mansion, I would assume, or I don't know where she was. She got interviewed off the spot, and she said, like, well, I'm going to try to be like Switzerland and be neutral in this whole thing, basically stating that she understands both sides. But, she kind of says that we got to negotiate. And at the end of the day, like, is either side really going to walk away feeling like so happy? No. That's why you come to negotiations. You figure out like what works for both of you the best.
Isn't there like some saying?
No one is supposed to come out a clear winner. And the reason I think that the other part of it, and this is my own opinion, not saying this is what she said, she didn't. My own opinion on it is an older actress like Jamie Lee Curtis that doesn't have to worry about what the 90% of these actors in this strike are really fighting for. Like they basically want better wages so they can afford health care. Obviously, the likes of Tom Cruise and Jamie Lee Curtis and all these other high-end box office stars, they make so much money, they don't give a shit about that. And like, is Tom Cruise kind of being a dickhead because he wants like a special privilege to still market Mission Impossible? Like, yeah, but at the same time, well, he's been in the gig for 40 something fucking years. So, it's none of all of you with your worries on this shit means nothing to him. So I kind of get it when some of these older actors are like trying to be neutral like that because they're set and they're old. They're like, what do they care? I don't know that anything, but I don't know that anything actually got resolved. I don't believe so. I feel like
I haven't heard anything of it getting actually resolved. But Cruise is kind of in a interesting situation though too, because he's got his own production company tied to the films, so he's kind of got a little more skin in the game than like a normal actor. He's actually like kind of got company funds put into the movie as well. He's kind of like in a weird way, a studio-ish head, but he's just a production company head.
Right.
So he's kind of, that's why he wants to be able to sell it, because he's like, oh, bruh, my fucking company, man.
Yeah.
But
and that actually makes
you are right though. There a lot of these like 1% actors, that's not what the fight for the fair wages isn't for them. Like,
right. But I do
they're set and they know they're set, but the ones that are there fighting on the picket lines aren't necessarily fighting for themselves. They are fighting for the 90%, 99% of the other actors that literally, just barely make ends meet, potentially still work a second job while acting.
Well, Jordan, they all live in Los Angeles, California. It's the 7th most expensive city to live in America. You bet your fucking ass they've got they definitely have 2 jobs if they're getting paid this shitty. And I'll be shocked. Some of them might even have 3 jobs. They probably try to do 1 full time, the other 2 part time, and God knows how much sleep they actually get. But
the American dream, baby.
Next Tom Cruise, so it's like you're investing in yourself. So it's like, well, that's the life, Or at least
dream,
I'm
baby.
speaking about it in the thought of the studio. But then that's why people are like, well, KP, Kevin, he's an asshole. So, you're right. I see the business. I went to business school. I'm an accountant for my job. I see that side of it more. But granted, then when I feel like I deserve maybe more money at my job, then I'm back over here on your side. So, it is what it is. But I will say, good on you for actually defending Tom, because I just kind of said, well, this is kind of why he can be like I don't give a shit about the picket lines type of person, because he's just set for his life. And then you're kind of like, well, he actually has a reasoning to be like that, and for you to back that up, that's cool. Real quick, I do love, though, too, that even though these other 1% actors that, like you say, like Bryan Cranston, they actually get out there, they get up on a podium, and they're like, hey, dude, like, basically he gave kind of an FU to Iger. A lot of them are doing that.
Yeah.
And Bob put himself as like the poster child for these studios. He just threw himself out there with his comments and made himself the target for all of them to attack. I mean, it's like, it's not just Disney really that's probably the assholes in this. I mean, hey, we you own it, I own it, but even though Sony makes PlayStation, they got their hands in a lot of other markets, and let's just say that the one that deals with movies does not have great history of being the best of people either.
Yeah.
So, God, what a topic. Anyways, Marvel news. I don't have really a whole lot. And by that, I more mean just a lot that I don't know if we need to talk about. We had the Loki trailer, though. So, yes. Looks very, very good. I love that. So in the trailer, like, he's time slipping at the beginning. So it kind of seems like the movie's going to be trying to figure out maybe why he's doing that, or maybe that might just be the first episode or 2. Who knows? It's Sylvie, right?
Yeah.
Sylvie. She's back. Now, do we know if it's just a variant of hers from an alternate universe, or is it the Sylvie that's from the first season? That still remains to be seen.
I agree. I think that's still very much up in the air.
Yeah, I feel like that's up in the air. I feel pretty ecstatic, though, for this, because from the trailer, it looks like they're kind of letting Loki be more Loki, and like it shows him like using his magic to a fuller extent in this season.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like we didn't get that in season 1. Like
I don't think whatever Yeah, his like a bit new ability. Like those are new, right? Like I don't think he's ever showed those.
I don't think so. And
Like
part of me
that
wonders,
green powers. Like I don't remember ever seeing him do that before, which is really cool.
right? And I feel like maybe the reasoning behind that we might get to see a more unhinged Loki is because this version of the TVA that he's working with it's obviously not the TVA he did work with in season 1, where they're kind of cracked down to be able to handle him. So maybe he as a character feels more free to do what he wants to do. I mean, Owen Wilson's character is obviously it's a different Mobius. Like we know that for certain. So their whole relationship is going to be another fresh start. And he even says to him in the trailer how he's like, look, we're very different, you and I. I talk things through, and you kind of come in gun shooting, guns blazing type. So I'm pretty excited for this series. And then the piece of news on it outside of the trailer is that apparently the budget for the entire series for this season was $141 million.
Damn.
Yeah.
So less expensive than Secret Invasion.
Oh, was that really true? I figured
Secret
this
Invasion was like 200 million.
Makes sense with all the shape shifting with the CGI, the scrolls. Did we? Okay, this is horrible. We reviewed that, right, already?
Yeah, we reviewed that dumpster fire. Yeah, we did.
Okay. Yeah, it's so forgettable. I can't even remember when we reviewed it. So, yeah. Shit. Yeah, so looking forward to the season 2 of Loki. Do you think that Victor Timely is going to be the only Kang variant we'll see? Like this season will be like how, so in Quantum Mania, or no, not even that. In the first season of Loki, He Who Remains at the end, he told the two of them, he's like, a variant of myself figured out how to time travel. And to break it down completely, basically created the multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were all at war with each other. And then he was the variant that won, creating the main 616 timeline. So I wonder if in this show, like that's like how it shows them in the trailer too, at the fairground. They go to the fairground. And I'm just wondering if that variant is going to be the one that's like the one that figured out like, hey, this is how I'm going to travel time. And he essentially is the root variant. He's the root Nathaniel Richards or Kang, whatever, that then causes the multiverse to begin with.
It would make sense. That would make sense because I know anytime I think they've established time travel causes these incursions. I wonder if Victor Timely is actually going to be the variant that we saw in Quantum Mania. I wonder if that's where he got sucked and thrown into.
Maybe. And I'm kind of in the boat though that the variant in Quantum Mania was the one that ended up being He Who Remains at the end.
See, I still buy that too, and it could be all the same. But
yeah, true.
Because I buy that theory too, because a lot of
it makes sense because he was on a warpath going through the multiverse, erasing all the timelines.
Yeah, and it very much seemed like the one in Quantumania definitely wasn't a fan of the rest of the Council of Kangs. So I do buy that he could potentially be He Who Remains in the end. But I still wonder if it's, this is timey, wibbly wobbly stuff. So I wonder I wonder if it will end up being like the one in Quantumania gets thrown back in time is the Victor Timely version, who then does eventually end up being He Who Remains. I don't know. Timey wimey, wibbly wobbly, goobity gaggity gook. It'll be really interesting to see how they play with the Kang variants and idea, because I think they even kind of already hinted at. I think it was Feige kind of hinted at that Kang's going to be kind of like a. He's not going to be just kind of like a straight up villain. In ways, you're going to find yourself like rooting for him at times, and I wonder if that's because like the Kang that we have met is kind of the good version and the He Who Remains one, I guess, and then all the rest are like the evil ones that just want to take over everything.
Makes sense.
Like, I wonder if He Who Remains will end up being our, what is it, Iron Lad? Is that who he ends up being?
Iron Lad is who the very good-hearted Nathaniel Richards that travels back in time to present day. He is Iron Lad, yes. We'll see if we get that character.
Maybe this version is all four. Let's go!
As long as the suit doesn't look like a horribly unpolished Power Ranger, then fine.
Go, go, Power Rangers.
Yeah, Wakanda forever, man. Fuck. I had a coworker. She's like, "So we watched that," and I said, "Yeah." And not that this means anything. She goes, and she just kind of shrugged, and I go, "Yeah, it's a pretty mid movie, unfortunately. Even though Namor was awesome, it's a mid movie." Moving on. Well, I guess we know two of the Fantastic Four. It's come out now from the Hot Mic, which I think is a podcast. I don't listen to it.
I think we've
picked up from.
Is this Snyder? This is Jeff Snyder.
I fucking don't know.
I
feel
like we have gotten
this
leaks from the Hot Mic before, because I always joke it's so hot. But no, I have not listened.
I don't think they named any specific individual, but they're basically saying 95% is their confirmed that Vanessa Kirby, who's in the new Mission Impossible, she will be Sue Storm. And they're saying that they're about also in that same boat with Stranger Things star Eddie Joseph Quinn will be Johnny Storm. Now, both actors, she is 32, he is 29. So I do like that they're very close in age. That's fitting. Mm-hmm. She does look she looks like a good Sue Storm. Like she could pull off looking like Sue.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen her in anything, but yeah, seeing a picture of her and next to like a picture of Sue Storm, I was like, damn, she's like pretty fucking spot on.
Right.
The other one, the one they picked as Johnny, I'm like, I don't know if I see it.
Well, and a lot of people were saying that they were pretty sure it was Jack Quaid was going to be Johnny Storm. And then he came out and said, he tweeted, "I'm not going to be Johnny Storm." And then he hilariously went into, "Oh, by the way, if you want to donate to SAG-AFTRA, follow this link." And like basically, well, I got your attention. That's what he did. So, but yes, I agree with you. I don't know. I guess thinking about how his character in Stranger Things, though, I could see it maybe like that. Really, like maybe kind of because Johnny Storm isn't he kind of always kind of cocky and arrogant. I can kind of see it.
Are they gonna lean into the whole bad boy Johnny Storm?
Right. Oh God.
If so, I could see it. We'll see.
The best thing, honestly, about all the Fantastic Four news that dropped within the past couple days is that, and I saw multiple report this. I don't know who said it. Maybe you do. But the Thing is going to be played by a, quote, fat white guy.
go.
Let's go. Yeah, I guess. Like, this is the weirdest thing I read on the internet. Just reports confirm that while no actor's been cast, the thing will be paid by a fat white guy. It's like, I mean, and not to offend him, but it's like, huh? Like, so like Kevin James? I mean, who are we getting here? like a fat white guy, huh?
Kevin James didn't deserve that stray.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, he's a comedian. He can handle it.
What if it does end up being Kevin James?
I was right. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's interesting.
Oh, our boy. Animated Times. It came from Jeff Schneider.
Jeff Schneider.
And this article I clicked on, guess who's got a photo? It's Kevin James.
No.
When did you grow that? Shit.
We got a beard?
Yeah, I don't know. This article just says Marvel shares reportedly looking for a fat white guy for the thing, and fans want Kevin James. Fuck yeah, let's go. Maybe Sandler can lose weight and just be a very fucking old Reed Richards that's got a trophy wife, Sue Storm. Just so we can make sure we have the Sandler pack together.
Sandler pack. Oh my god. No.
No? What do you mean, no?
I would love to see that movie in the Happy Madison universe. I don't know if I want that in the MCU.
I will say, I think the one last rumor I saw floating around about this movie was that I think they're going to, from the get-go, give us, well, I'm hoping. Because the rumor is that the film's villain will be Galactus. Which I only give a shit about one thing, if that's true. And that's my boy on the surfboard with the power cosmic coming to shit wreck Earth until he realizes, oh no, these people are cool. And it just as long as we don't do a giant cloud.
I'm kind of being a dick. I'm working for a dick.
Right. Look at me. It's
I'm a dick. Yeah, that'll be hype. Just please, for the fucking love of God, if you're going to do Galactus, please don't fuck it up this time. Just don't make him a fucking cloud or just some weird. Just make him what he is.
I mean, I have faith that they will because, I mean, this is Disney money, and we've already seen the outrageous CGI that they've put in Guardians, in Avengers, all this shit with, like, space stuff. There's no excuse to not do Galactus correctly.
I agree. So it'll be, I will say that'll be really hyped to see, if done correctly, like a full-blown live-action Galactus. That will be so fucking cool to see. And yes, I'm with you. I absolutely love the Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
Please, for the love of God, yes. Like, please bring him back into the forefront on the big screen. And please do him justice more than anything. Because I got a pop of him over there on the shelf. Nice. One of my favorite Marvel heroes.
Yeah.
I just always thought he was so fucking cool as a kid.
I did too. I loved watching the cartoon, man.
He was just so fucking badass. And so yeah, that's really exciting because yeah, you are correct. If Galactus is there, that means your boy can't be too far behind. So that's pretty exciting if true.
Yeah.
And like you said, with Disney money, hopefully, yeah, they will just do both of them justice and not cloud it up, Vape Nation, bro.
Yeah. Oh. Still out there on the Reed Richards, though. I think a lot of people still think it might either be Adam Driver or someone else that's around the age of 40.
Didn't Driver come out and say no, that he wasn't interested, and that he's like pretty sure there was like a quote this week where he came out and said that he was like too booked up.
Oh shit! Did he really? I missed that. I would have missed that.
But from the insiders, I keep hearing that Disney is still very much like trying to pursue him still. Like they really want him to be the Reed Richards.
I guess, yeah, he did turn it down 4 days ago. Oh, Matt Smith is the other one that's apparently they're rumored to
Yes.
be in the room.
That would be really cool to see, actually. I would be down to see Matt Smith play Reed Richards. I feel like he could pull that off. And he's got the look, too.
You think so?
I think he could pull off a Reed Richards look.
Okay.
I mean, to
personally,
me, I think the actor who plays Reed Richards has to convey that they are. They have to basically come off as like the smartest guy in the room in every fucking room that he's in. And I think Matt Smith can pull that off.
Yeah, I think I agree that Matt Smith can pull that off. Okay, I didn't realize Matt Smith 13 years ago, from 2010 to 2014, was the Doctor Who. Because I was just about to say, in my experience with Matt Smith, I've only have ever seen him be a dickhead or a villain. I've never really seen him in that.
Yeah, it is true. He does play a villain a lot, yeah. Other than
yeah.
Never really thought about that.
Right. So that's like why, to me, it's interesting to cast him as Reed Richards, because I've never seen him on the good side.
But hey, that would be cool though too, because if they ever did magically go down the route of where he's, oh my god, I'm blanking now. The Maker.
Shit, yeah.
He could really fucking pull both of those off really well. That would be really intriguing to see someday, actually. Give it to me.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's really all I had, unless you had seen other things. I have not really seen anything else.
Yeah, I feel like that was really all I saw from Marvel this week.
Yeah, that was kind of the big stuff. Star Wars. Attention. Star Wars.
Ahsoka dropping soon.
Yeah, that's basically it. We're waiting on Ahsoka. That's going to be this month finally. I'm very excited for it.
Please be good. Oh, I think, what did they say? The first 2 episodes, what was it? Official runtime, an hour and 37 minutes for
they did
the first two episodes combined. So you got that to look forward to, and then probably sub 30-minute episodes the rest of the way.
No,
I don't know that for a fact. I'm just talking shit.
I mean, you're not wrong. The way Disney's done things lately.
I hope I'm wrong about that. It'd be nice if we got this nice.
You got no idea how much I hope you're wrong. Shit, this is this character is like the character post Lucas control, like main control, like in creative direction. Like this is like, yeah, Filoni worked with him to make this character, I believe, and make it all work. But like, you know. This is one that's like, we care about this one a lot.
Yeah.
So, like, the don't screw it up, cannot stress enough. This better be like your other like Mandalorian type of hype, like good quality show.
I hope so, man. I'm very, very excited for this show. I cannot wait to sit down and watch that hour and 37 minutes. It looks good. Just for the love of God, don't Disney Plus show me. Just please deliver.
I want at least 40-minute episodes.
That, and just even the trend of like, I feel like Disney Plus shows do a pretty good job of starting off very strong and having you initially like interested, and then as the show goes on, I feel like I always kind of like, as it goes on, I just slowly lose interest. Like, not counting the Mandalorian and Andor, They have the other, like, WandaVision was good, Loki season 1 was good, but for the most part, these Disney Plus series, that just feels like that's the habit I've been in, the cycle I've been in with them. So I just hope Ahsoka bucks that trend and is like an Andor, like you said, a Mandalorian. It's got that pop culture grab to get in, like, the zeitgeist and the, like, the, I don't know. We need a win here.
Oh God, yes we do. God, yes we do. And even though I am one who's enjoyed some of the lesser received, like obviously, like I liked Obi-Wan. I mean, I don't disagree with you though that I'm out running telling your average Joe, like, you gotta fucking watch this, man. Like, yeah, your average Joe, I'm like, dude, you haven't seen
It's
Mandalorian.
fucking Obi-Wan, man.
Right, like, you haven't seen Mandalorian. You didn't watch Andor. Like, yeah, WandaVision and Loki, but like, yeah, perfectly stated. All the other stuff, it's like I sit there, if you're a big fan like I am, yeah, watch it, but you're not missing out on a whole bunch outside of like the last 2 episodes of Obi-Wan. Like, but yeah.
I mainly just like talking shit about Obi-Wan because I know how much it gets under Bull's skin. I more do it as like an antagonizing thing now.
Hey, as much as I like it, it's still, the series as itself has really put a questionable focus on like a certain line out of episode 4, the very first Star Wars. It's like,
Yeah.
I feel like you've screwed with things there. You don't make it, doesn't totally not make sense, but it's
too close
now,
for comfort.
It is now. it is what it is now that the shit all exists. Is how I'll say that. But yeah, I can't wait for Ahsoka. Shit. So, all right. I think we should move on to reviews. Yeah.
Let's
Okay.
do it.
So we got, for DC, we got My Adventures in Harley Quinn for sure.
Yep.
Did you want to review Ultimate Alliance, or have me kind of review it? Or sorry.
Yeah, if you want to. Since I can't really
Ultimate Invasion, sorry.
Since I don't really buy comic books anymore because I'm broke as a joke. But
$5, man.
$5 times like 12.
$60. No, I get it. And when you really think, and when you really consider the amount of like the story content you're getting, $5 a book, that's hard. I mean, yeah, it might be 30 pages long, but a third of those pages are ads.
Yep.
That's hard. That's tough. That's tough to like you said. I mean, and I spend more than $5 a month on comics.
Oh yeah, like for me
Now,
it was like 40 to $50 every Wednesday when I used to buy it. So
yeah,
rough.
like I'll be spending, once the DCs come back in September, I'll be back to spending like $30 a month again, because I'll have Superman, Batman, Green Lantern, Hawk Girl, and Hawk Girl's limited though. Power Girl. So there's 25, and then Invasion. Oh, and then Captain Marvel. Okay, $35. So yeah, because I forgot Captain Marvel. They're doing a whole new Captain Marvel run, so I'm gonna buy that one too. But anyways, Ultimate.
Yeah, you can talk about it for sure. Since I can't really read it anyway. I forgot to watch a video on it this week, so now you kind of get to tell me what happened in issue 2.
So in issue 2, it starts with the Maker kind of giving you this monologue, and he takes you through the time traveling he's done in what I believe would be the 616 universe. about how he's correcting in time, preventing all these heroes from being created. He stops the Fantastic Four from forming. He stops, I'll say he stops Bruce Banner from being the Hulk. He ensures there's no Captain America, really. And this is all kind of in the beginning. He's taking you through like the things he has done to form this utopian universe that's currently in existence of where he is at. What's interesting about it is he does say how like he realizes that his actions will cause a multiverse to exist. He acknowledges that in this monologue. The other thing is that he states too how no matter what he could do, there are always like finite things that are going to happen. And that's like around, and he says that around when they're discovering like a frozen Captain America. Like essentially, I think it boiled down to no matter what, as much as he would, I think, try to prevent a captain type person from existing, is just one always ended up existing.
Okay.
So I think he eventually kills it, but I would have to. I could go grab it actually, since I'm in my house anyway. I will say this: what's interesting then is that there is still an Iron Man, but the Iron Man is Howard Stark. So Howard Stark lives in the universe that he's created, and Howard Stark has made himself Iron Man. And he continued to be a like an arms dealer, right? I mean,
yeah.
You know, like what we know why Stark Industries gets rich. So he continued to do that with Stain. And then Tony is just kind of like, he's there, but he doesn't have his own suit, and he's just kind of like just the next in line waiting to take over Stark Industries. Yeah,
it's a little bit of a Flashpoint paradox there.
Right, it was. It truly was. It was very interesting. And then what happens is that the Maker then, so he's got this like big fucking golden globe looking thing in the middle of like a city. It's huge. And he's going to like open the doors to it for the first time in God knows how long. And so all these people from all around the world are coming to meet him there. And Howard Stark gets invited. Stark and Stain get invited to go. So they do. But then you have like a Buddhist Hulk. It's like a Hulk. It's not Banner, but it is a person who has the Hulk. He is the Hulk, but he's like he's like a Buddhist, and like he's peaceful and he can remain in the form at all times, and it's very interesting. They have a couple other characters that arrive that their names escape me because they're not like the main A team. So I'm kind of losing track of their titles, and they also don't just outright say them. So I'll admit I'm kind of forgetful here, but what happens then in this issue is that the Maker then, when he finally comes out and opens his doors to allow all these high class people from around the world in, well, a portal in the sky opens, and through this portal is like hundreds of the same type of variants of the Wasp, Captain America, Hank Pym, Goliath, like all these heroes. They're drawn to all look the same, and they come through the portal, and one of them says like, there he is, like attack him now, like do it now and fast. So then they get in this big ass brawl with like this universe's Hulk and the Stark and Stain, because they both have armored suits. And then the Maker, or no, sorry, Obadiah Stane fights because he brought his suit, but Stark didn't bring his suit because Obadiah told him not to. So then Stark has to get like escorted into this building with where the Maker is, and the Maker walks him through why their universe is the way that it is. And he basically says, like, yeah, I traveled through time correcting events to make this society the utopia that we live in now. And he just turns to Howard and says, do you honestly believe that this world is so perfect and it just happened? He said, no, I guided the direction. He's like, it's because of me that this is a utopia. And then he convinces that Howard Stark that all these variants that were coming through the portal that eventually they capture and defeat, and then the Maker like disassembles them by their cells, like kind of like in the first issue when he rearranged those four people, and then they just kind of melted into goop. Well, he does the same thing with all these heroes. He explains to Howard how these are all, he says, clones from a distant off point in the future that are being sent back in time to stop me. And then Howard says to him, like, you're a fool, because really all they would have to, since they have that capability in the first place, they'll just go back in time and stop you from existing. And the Maker's like, but I'm not from this universe, so they can't do that. And he's like, yeah. And then like he takes his helmet off in the end, and he's got like this whole side of his head is missing. Like it's a hole. There's just nothing there. Your dog's going nuts. He's like, dude, tell this guy to shut up.
Gizmo.
Howard looks at him and he goes, how the hell are you alive? He's like, how are you not dead? And the Maker says something like, I learned how to reorganize my brain to not be in my head, and it's located somewhere else in my body. Therefore, I am able to live like with this battle wound, because the reason the Maker took his helmet off is because he tells Howard Stark, well, they've come back in time multiple times to try to stop me. Here's a scar from it. And he's got like this whole, like, it's literally like all this is missing from his head. And yeah, it's fucked up. And he just tells him, he's like, I'm alive because my brain isn't located up here in my head. I moved it somewhere else in my body. He's like, I've rearranged all the.
Put it in my asshole.
He legitimately makes some comment like, I've rearranged the location of all of my organs in my body to where like I can still look and function like a normal human. But yeah, it's hokey. But this is comics. This is high fantasy.
We embrace it.
Make believe, so whatever. But to me, this issue just kind of showed that the Maker's trying to have he accomplished his, like how he said to read, like, because the book does open with those same stills. Would you go if you could stop me from being born, or if you could go back in time and stop me from being created? Would you? And he says, yes. He's like, and I'll keep that in mind. That's when the book starts with he's going through the monologue of doing that very thing to like Peter Parker, the Fantastic Four, Tony Stark as Iron Man, all these heroes. He basically ceases them to exist and has this perfect utopia now in what's understandably it's weird because it says Earth 6160, but the 616 is in bold while the 0 is there, but it's not in like a bold font to like indicate something. I don't know. I think it just means to indicate that he's messing with the 616 universe.
It's either that or he's yeah, it's just another alternate. Unless they're trying to say that like there's 616, but then there's like the 616 universe, which might end up being the new Ultimate universe, because the Ultimate universe isn't around anymore technically, right?
Correct.
Isn't it just Miles and the Maker were the last two remnants? I think there's one other one too that I'm forgetting, but yeah, I think those are like the two or three. Well,
that's the whole reason why the first book is the way that it is because the Maker, he goes to Miles and he says, do you want to go home? And Miles tells him, no, I like it here. So
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. Their universe, like, technically kind of doesn't exist. And what I'm wondering here is the Maker then trying to get that universe to exist again? I don't know. Or at least in his image.
Right. Yeah. That's what it kind of seems like. Like he just, yeah, just trying to make a whole universe in his image to where he just kind of doesn't have to deal with the hero's bullshit.
Right.
But yeah, it'll be really cool if by the end of this, if this universe that he's creating ends up being like the new Ultimate Universe, and that's where it kind of continues out of. Be pretty sweet.
But yeah, no, it's been a good read so far, so I'm looking forward to the more issues that come out. That's essentially though how it ended, is that he just kind of takes his helmet off and reveals like this weird piece of information, and then he kind of extends his hand to Howard Stark, asking him like, will you help me? So the Maker in this reality of some of, yes, the heroic individuals that have been created, because he can't stop them from existing whatsoever, he's probably now going to recruit them to be on his side. So then when the actual maybe that's why it's called Ultimate Invasion, because the actual main heroes that we know keep opening these portals, and they keep getting all these different, throughout the multiverse, all these like almost the same exact versions of themselves to be sent through time to kind of keep invading to try to crush the Maker. That's kind of what I'm taking from this issue. But again, it remains to be seen how it will play out.
So only two in.
It's only two in.
How many? Have they said how many issues it's supposed to be?
I don't think so. I
I'm
mean,
curious to see how long the arc goes.
yeah.
I would think like 6 to 8 tends to be pretty normal.
Is that what they do for these?
Typically, yeah, they're usually like a limited series or event, but also depends on the event too. But
it's only gonna have 4.
Really? Oh, so it's a short
Yeah.
boy. Shorter boy. This seems really cool though. I'm just excited for the Ultimate Universe to be back and the Ultimates to be back. I don't know, maybe by the time those drop, maybe I'll get back into the shop and at least pick those bad boys up.
I was gonna say, maybe this is, well, like you said, maybe since this is just a limited series, this is just the limited series to kind of get the universe going.
About to say, yeah, I'm sure this is just kind of like the starting point of what's going to come out of the new Ultimates universe. So I guess 4 doesn't really surprise me thinking of it that way. This is more of just like a jumping on point for this new universe. Well,
Yeah.
returning-ish universe.
Right.
But exciting.
Exciting.
My adventures first, and then the Quinn. My adventures. What was? Oh yeah, Jimmy, our boy Jimmy, captured. Poor little Jimmy.
It was not Legrad, as I thought.
No, it was actually it was somebody that I didn't even recognize. Mala,
Something like that, yeah.
some French, something French. Were they both French? I don't even know.
No, I thought that the one that ended up being the brain in the machine, wasn't he German? Yeah, he was German.
Yeah, he was German. Yeah, never mind. This show. I love this show. I just adore it. It's cute.
Superman and anime as fuck, dude. It's awesome.
Two loves of mine coming together. It's kind of hard to review this. I guess we've never have really done a good non-spoiler section for this. We usually just get right into it. But to start off at the top, thank fuck they didn't do the thing that I was dreading them to do. They didn't drag out this fucking storyline. Lois knows, Jimmy knows,
Yeah.
Clark Kent is Superman, and we didn't drag out Lois being pissed off at Clark.
Yeah, I
by
was
Superman.
I was afraid they were going to do that, and then this episode kind of just rekindled it, took care of that whole issue.
Thank God.
Thank God.
I love this show. I had 2 asks last week. I was like, please, we could just not drag this out like the other shows do. Just not do this in general. They're like, hey, don't worry, we got you, bud.
Got your back, dog.
We got you, bud.
Yeah.
Also, correction. Actually, let me bring this back up. We slightly misspoke last week. We thought there was only 6 episodes of My Adventures with Superman. Turns out we were dead ass wrong.
Oh,
dead ass wrong.
So wrong. Shout
So
out
wrong.
to the individual who helped us confirm that.
Yeah, shout out to I Kill Your Vibe 4408, letting us know. He didn't kill our vibe though.
Didn't kill our vibe. You helped our vibe.
Nice to us. So we appreciate that.
Saved our vibe.
But they let us know that it actually was confirmed to be 10 episodes long by one of the showrunners. So thank God, because after we had stopped recording last week, I started thinking about it. I was like, how in the fuck are they gonna wrap all this shit up in one 22-minute episode? Like, how? Like, there's just no conceivable way. Like, this is gonna be worse than Secret Invasion's finale. Thank fuck we got.
Well,
even after this one, we have 4 more episodes. So
well, and it'll probably end on some type of cliffhanger.
I would imagine it will.
What these shows do, these animated shows usually do.
And it would make sense. I would hope that the viewership is high enough that they're going to get a season 2. I'll be very, very sad if this whole writers and actors thing and maybe just doesn't get the viewership, if that ends up kind of squandering that from happening. So hopefully.
What did you think of, like, yeah, it was very, the one thing in this episode that was interesting that they seem to not figure out, when I say they, I mean like Clark, Lois, and Jimmy. You know, we as fans, if you know shit about Superman, you kind of realize like the whole red dome was acting as a red sun. Like we knew what was going on. But it was just interesting how, yeah, by the end of the episode, the ape, I think, goes, yeah, our red sun sphere is no longer going to be able to be powered.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have to go somewhere else. And then it just kind of left it open-ended that Clark didn't really figure out that that was why his powers weren't working.
I did like that.
Yeah.
Because they, like you said, like if us, we kind of like see like, oh, is this like a... Me, I was like, is this like red kryptonite? But no, he's not like raging out or anything. I was like, oh, maybe it's a red sun. And then when he drops that line later, you're like, love you guys. Yeah. But yeah, I did like how it didn't seem like Clark understood. Because he kind of questioned at some point. Like he was like, I feel like I'm losing my powers, or I feel like, I can't remember what exactly he said. Just like he's feeling weaker or not as stronger at some point. It's just like, yeah. It is something. Yeah, it is something with the red sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I don't really have anything like super like critical to say about this show. I just always have like a really good time watching it. Just simply put, like you said, it's Superman and anime, and it's just like some of the things that they change with his mythos will probably piss some people off. I don't care. I adore this show. I think they did a great job with the whole friendship dynamic with him and Jimmy and Lois. It seems like they've gotten all the characters right in my mind, even down to like Perry White. Like Perry's perfect in the show. It's exactly who Perry should be like. Granted, I feel like the villains, if anything, are more different than what we're traditional to.
Yeah, that's to me what feels the most. That's really the main big difference in this show is how different all the villains are. Slade Wilson being a young, athletic, you know,
Pretty boy.
pretty boy, yeah, is way different than what we're used to seeing with the Slade Wilson. But no, I think the show just does character development pretty well too. Like when he tells them like when they're bitching at him about why wouldn't you tell us? And he says, he's like, I just want to be normal. He's like, I've been different my whole life, and I want to be normal and know that like you're my friends because I'm normal. Like I thought that was pretty good as like a reasoning as to like why he hides who he is. Like it's not the traditional like, you know, like oh if my enemies know who I really am, they'll go after the people I love, like typical thing. Like this iteration is like, no, I just want to feel like an actual human being. So yeah. And then of course, like the friendship dynamic of like, we like you for who you are, you idiot. Like, so
You big goof.
yeah. So that was that. Like I said, the character development is just really, really cool. And like you said, I do like how we didn't have this drawn out thing of like, well, when does Jimmy find out? It's just an immediate like, dude, I've known that you've been him the whole time. He's like the first day that we were, in the dorms together, you ripped the handle off of the door. He's like, well, yeah. He's like, and you try to say the screws came loose, and he goes, well, the screws could have came loose. He's like, Clark, you ripped it in half. And he's just,
you ripped the handle in half.
yeah. And it's just and that's the other thing too, is the comedy's not so childish with this show. Like the comedy's kind of perfect and for what it is as well. Like I do
I
find
would agree.
myself,
I do like
I
the
find
balance
myself
that
laughing
this
at
comedy
times.
strikes.
Yeah.
Same. Like there have been several times throughout the show that I've gotten like genuine like out loud laughter out of stuff they've said or done.
And
it's
especially in this episode had a handful of moments that were just laugh out loud funny.
Mhm.
Like when they're gonna dissect him, and he's like, I can die happy because I was right, and like
because I was right.
and they're just like the guy's like about to press the button, and he just kind of stops, and he's like, well, that sounds sad, or like I don't remember exactly what he says, but yeah, just I laugh pretty hard at some points in this show. We still didn't
And
really
like you
get
said, I
too
think
much on the Go ahead, sorry.
I was just saying I think that calls back to like what you said is just I feel like a lot of it and the reason it hits is like you had pointed out, good character development.
Yeah.
Because a lot of those, I feel like most of the out loud funny moments are because the things that are being said in those moments feel so genuine for those characters. Like they just feel so natural in that moment that it just makes perfect sense that they would react the way that they do while being humorous at the same time. But yeah, this show hasn't wavered so far. I feel like it's just been keeping steadily strong. Hopefully, these last four episodes it finishes strong. So I'm looking forward to them. That's for sure.
Right.
Did you have chalky milk when you watched it?
No, because I don't wait till Saturday morning like you guys. I watch that shit the day that I get the notification from Apple TV that it's been uploaded. So I watch that on Fridays. I think Fridays, right?
I think it's technically like Thursday nights on Adult Swim, and then it probably goes on streaming Friday mornings.
We record Fridays, so to be honest, I mean, we've been very fortunate to kind of be able to watch it in time to not be so far behind on it when we record.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. This actually, yeah, this show does actually line up pretty well for our schedule. The Disney Plus shows do not line up well for our schedule. I feel like we're always like a week behind. But it's in the name, Tardy to the Party.
Well, yeah. But yeah, the Disney Plus shows do not, they don't line up well. But yeah, this one, another banger. Have we been scoring these? I can't remember. I don't think we have, right?
I think so. I don't know if it's been consistent. I think sporadically.
Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, highly recommend. If I was to give it a score this episode, I guess like a 7.6. I don't know. It's good. It's not. It wasn't like a great or amazing episode, but it's still just like I said. This show has been nothing but consistently solid.
Yeah,
and I appreciate it for it.
Yeah, I mean, I would really say the show as a whole is definitely like a solid like 7 to 8 for me. I mean, like I said, I've also have just really enjoyed watching it. Kind of look forward to watching it, just for what it is, because it's just such a different take on the character. But yeah,
it honestly gets me. I already was pretty excited, but it gets me even more excited for the Suicide Squad one that's being developed right now and is going to come out. Especially with the studio behind it. I mean, dear God, there's just please, like, especially if like it's well received and it actually gets good viewership. Like, please, DC, like, keep doing this shit. Like, just if we're never gonna get a live action universe off the ground, fuck it, dude. Let's just have anime adaptations out the ass. I'll be okay. I'll be okay.
I mean, they're typically always very, very good.
Siri talking shit over here. That's not nice. I was like, it literally was a compliment. Oh, maybe not the live action universe thing. That was kind of mean, I guess. Sorry, Siri. Okay, so Harley Quinn, season 4, episode 4. I'm not gonna lie. So I think I enjoyed this episode. I think. I just.
That's how I feel. I'm glad. I was like kind of worried. I won't lie. I don't know. I enjoyed it, but not as good as the first 3.
In a weird way, even though we're only 4 episodes in, it's starting to feel a little repetitive and redundant this season. It just. I don't know why. I don't think I like this new dynamic. It's starting to strike me really weird that we have Poison Ivy leading like the Legion of Doom, and then we have Harley and the Bat family now, and they're trying to make their relationship work. I see the comedy in that, but I don't know. We're like 4 episodes in. I feel like it's kind of gone a little long.
I love speaking along the title of this episode, like. The title of the episode was literally something they say in the episode. It was like, when you go to a conference on the moon, or when you go to a business conference and you don't come back with chlamydia or something. I don't know why like that was even the title of the episode entirely.
I don't know either.
Like, it's like, okay, you said it in the episode, but I don't know. I understand, though, what you mean. Like, I don't really understand where this is kind of going. Other than, I don't know. Part of me thinks that they're just doing this whole season as a way to split the 2 up, because it's like you got one over here with the bad guy still that leads the Legion of Doom as the CEO, and then you got the Harley Quinn with the Bat family who's trying to be good.
I just. See, that's the thing. I feel like the showrunners came out a while ago and were just like, yeah, we're never splitting up Ivy and Harley. Like,
I don't know. This will be a rough patch for them.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's so weird. Like, I thought they went through their little rough patch last season. And it's like now they're like even further kind of segmented from each other. It just.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, overall, still had a good time watching the episode. Like, had some laughs. I generally like. Kind of in a way, like, I wonder if this show for me is kind of, at least for the time being, kind of like plot proof. Like it's like I don't know if I necessarily really care about the overarching story. I just enjoy seeing them take my beloved characters and just
You enjoy
absolutely just shit on them. Like I don't know.
off the moon, dude. Like that's it. And then you watch his dog run around a cafeteria decapitating people. While
I got fucking Lex Luthor with his fucking calf pumps.
He
his
says
fucking
some
G-string
shit
thong.
he's like, you have no idea the pressures on men to have good-looking calves in this society, or something like that. And I was dying laughing, like, yeah, that chicken leg problem, I've got it too, bud. I've got it too. And I loved how, like, back on Earth, like Talia's taken everything out of the manor to stick it to Bruce and the family, and like, where the hell's my batarangs? Where are my shurikens? Like, they don't have any equipment, and like they go home, she's fucking taking everything, and then they rent the place out to foreigners who take psychedelics that numb their nerves. She's like punching like, the hell's the matter with you? And he's like, drugs neutralize the pain receptors. Oh, it was so good. But yeah, I feel like the same, man. I don't really care I don't care anymore. Like the last season, just because it was building up to the will they, won't they with Ivy and Harley. But like anymore, I'm kind of getting to that same point where I don't really care anymore much about the overall arcing plot of the season. I'm just kind of here for all the laughs, and they're still giving me the laughs.
Mm-hmm.
I liked how Joker,
which I guess is the most important thing. It's a comedy, so as long as they keep delivering the laughs, they'll be okay.
I love how
so when I stop laughing is where the problem's probably going to come in.
I loved how Joker was like jealous that he didn't get invited because he's the mayor now, and like he's scrolling through effectively Twitter and seeing all the updates, and he's like he's kind of liking it, but he's also kind of like, this is lame because I'm not invited. And then, like, they have to save him, right? Because Two-Face is, like, beating him up. And he's like, what the fuck, man? And he goes, well, sorry, it's this is your job now, so I gotta... and then Two-Face even tells him that he was basically, like, a warm-up. Like, he didn't even really give a shit to, like hold him hostage or something. I have to go back and watch it again. But, yeah, there's, like, laughs in this episode that are really good. I am trying to remember.
It's so small and stupid, but it's such a dumb line. But when they go back and find out Talia's taking all their stuff, and Damien's like, or think she was like called him soft or something, and she's like, Damien's like, I got a rock hard 6-pack, and she just backhands his tummy. He's like, ow.
Yeah. I liked when they were like, where's all our shit? And he's looking on the camera, and he just goes, mommy. like a little child, like
dude, when fucking Nightwing got out of the shower, he put the towel on and had the fucking the cheeks cut out. I was like, the writers were not kidding. They gave us all the cakes.
I was just saying, they are gonna beat they are beating the whole thing about his having a fat ass. That's going to be beaten like a dead horse this season, is what I'm gathering. Yeah, the cheeks just sticking out. And... oh, my God. Then the fucking weirdo fucking scene with, is it Talia that's in like the room with Lex, and he's just watching the two people have sex? And he's like, did I tell you to stop?
Put that cape back on.
Yeah,
I told you to keep the cape on until you finish.
Yeah. So fucking weird how they're just making it
like how
this weirdo that, and like, so clearly the Daily Planet, like, that was Clark, right? The Daily Planet reporter. Yeah. And was he in the room? Was it Clark in there banging the chick? Like, in that?
No, because I think whoever was in there had like blonde hair. But what I did like about that scene was they were like, he like points out, he's like, oh, living vicarious through somebody else is so much better or whatever. And she says something about it gets like boiled down to she gets off on like putting down like weak men or whatever. So when after that cape thing happens, he's so like distressed. He's like, oh, forget it, I'm out of it anyway. And she immediately, Tally just goes, yep, this was fun, because she defeated him as like a weak man, so she had gotten off. So I just like immediately how he was over it. She's like, yep, that was fun, I'm out.
Yeah, I love that. I love that whole joke. Yeah. God, what a fucking episode.
They're going wild this season.
Why? They've been wild. I will say, you know what I think? So far this season, I think what's been missing for me is the lack of King Shark and Clayface in each episode. Mm-hmm. Like we had them in the episodes, and the third episode they're prevalently in the episode, but so far through these first 4, it's not like they're a mainstay character like they were in the previous seasons. And I don't know if that's just because of the voice actors just wanted to take a little bit of a step back or what. But I miss them. You know, I kind of miss King Shark's and Clayface's antics each episode, and like how they played roles in the episode.
I mean, shoot, I feel like we've barely even gotten Bane this season. Like, we've got a little bit of Bane. Him hitting on
oh yeah, him too. Yeah.
Freeze's wife.
Nora.
Nora. But
and then you get off.
Then that's it. And that's a good point. Maybe that is why I am liking this season, but I don't know if it's hitting at the highs that the previous ones have. It's like, well, Bane's my favorite. Bane and he's King Shark too. Actually, those are my 2 favorite characters in this series.
Right.
So maybe that's why it just we don't have enough of the normal gang like we used to. It is very, very well. We got a new gang, I guess, technically, because it's still very much centered on Harley and Ivy, as it should be. But now instead of the normal group, it's like the Bat family, and then all these Legion of Doom people, which is cool. I love seeing all these crazy ass here, especially the cocaine guy. I can't remember what it is. It's like Snow Flame or something like that. He literally gets superpowers from doing cocaine. The fact that he's in the show is just amazing.
He's been a great addition to the show, this one just hit me on the head because I was thinking also, we don't have Batman either at all. Well, who else haven't we had? We haven't had Jim Gordon at all.
Oh my God, we haven't had Jim Gordon.
Yeah, so, and he was one of my favorites.
Same, actually. Now that you mention that, holy shit, I miss his crazy fucking ass always popping up on screen.
Right. So.
Yeah, damn. We miss them.
Yes.
Bring them back, please.
We miss them. And
recommend this season. I'm still enjoying it, but I will say it doesn't feel like it's hitting quite the highs as previous seasons so far. But
I'm
still enjoying my time.
And I think they even said that the Batman. I don't know. I think they said that he probably won't return for a while, maybe not even until the end of the season. Which probably might even mean the same thing with Jim Gordon, because that's the thing, is you guys kind of have those 2 together. So, yeah. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong on that with Jim Gordon, just because obviously, we have Batgirl, we have Barbara. So, I feel like you could work him in there somewhere. But, yeah.
Yeah, true. It should be pretty easy to do that, but.
Yeah, it shouldn't be difficult.
We're only 4 in, so maybe all these characters show up more.
Yeah, I mean, it's usually, isn't this too also typically a 10 episode season?
I think so. I think it's 10 or 12. I can't remember. It's somewhere in that area. So we still got quite a bit to go.
Yeah.
So Bring us the crew. Any more reviews? See, Harley, I don't think we've been giving scores to. I think Harley,
I
we're
just
usually
always
like, yeah, it's
recommend
great,
watching
that's
it because it's hilarious.
I
I mean, it's a show meant to be.
feel like it's also kind of hard to rate like a comedy show like this. Like it'd be kind of hard. It'd be kind of like, I mean, you could. It'd be kind of hard.
Hey, dude.
Kind of like rating
So-
like South Park episodes or like Family Guy episodes, like and giving them a rating. It's like you can.
Hey, man. There's a reason the Comedy Central's stupid ass decision to have a comedy awards only lasted for 2 years, and then South Park made the biggest mockery of it. It's because it is comedy. You either like it or you get so offended by it you don't like it, or it's not funny at all. So three options there for you. So yeah, I would say that I'm not going to give a score review to a comedy because I just think it's funny as shit and just go watch it. It's literally the Family Guy of DC, like the South Park of DC heroes. Like it's very well. We've been over it a bunch of times that it's very well written, and how they kind of stay true to like certain like mythos, ethos, whatever of like DC stuff, and yet they're still like making fun of it, and like they can still weave in all these jokes and like making a mockery of it, but they still kind of hold true to like certain things. So
It's like they roast all of these beloved DC characters with all of the love in the world. But we are going to roast you.
that is actually the best way to describe it.
So yeah, I think that was it for reviews, right? We don't have anything else. No episode 7 of Secret Invasion that we got to fucking worry about, right?
Hey, as much as that show probably needed an episode 7 to actually make it end well, no, we don't have an episode 7.
Oh, thank fuck.
We need to, like you said, man, I mean, we should probably figure out some retro reviews to do, but I don't know. So we got My Adventures and Harley Quinn for a little bit now, and then by the time that, and Ahsoka will be starting soon. Maybe after Ahsoka, because I don't think we'll have a series. Well, excuse me. Sorry. Actually, well, we might not have a series for like a month because Loki will be out in October.
Yeah, I
still
might be
retro reviews though. I mean, I
should probably still do it because I mean, with the news being on a massive downhill, we're still going to have like a bunch of extra time. Otherwise, the episodes are going to be like 20 to 30 minutes. Hey, everybody. Episode 3 of Ahsoka's out. This is what we're going to talk about this week. I got nothing else to.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I guess you guys let us know in the comments. We've kind of been kicking back ideas.
DC, since it's going to end soon.
I'd say kind of do like a DCEU in memorial or Snyderverse in memorial. Obviously, you know, we have like the 40 trillion Marvel movies we could go through, which could take us years to even catch up to the real life timeline. But another thing that could be interesting, and I want to know what you guys especially think about this. I wonder if it'd be a kind of a good idea to like let's kind of go in an alternate universe here. Let's restart this battle of the MCU versus the DCEU and start from the beginning of both of them. And granted, I'll give it to you, Marvel's got way more fucking movies. But by the time that we get to the end of the DCEU, was there really that many bad movies in comparison to what Marvel had put out in the same amount of movies? Was it really as off? Was it really as big of a slaughter as most people remember it to be? And
so when you
do the DC movies actually maybe potentially hold up over time better than some of the Marvel movies had? I think it'd be pretty interesting to go back. I already know the answer on that last one.
We need to answer all these statements that Jsib has already made time and time again to see your thoughts on them. Are you saying, when you say the amount of movies, are you just saying like, hey, let's look at the first, what would it be? for five movies. Because like DCEU, let's actually count it. So like Man of Steel, BVS, Wonder Woman,
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad.
That's gonna be a rough one. Thanks, studio.
And then Snyder Cut, right?
I mean, I'll leave that in your court if you really want to take the time to review both Justice Leagues. If we want to do the Frankenstein Abomination and then the fucking goated version, I'll leave that up to you. Me personally, I've seen the Justice League cut one too many times, and that was when I was sitting in the theaters. But I will, for the sake of the team, for the sake of the pod, I will watch it again so I can shit on it again if I have to.
I'm not gonna lie. I really don't even want to watch. We can just shit on it. I don't need to watch.
Just shit on it.
I'd rather spend the 2 hours that I'm going to be using to watch that movie to just watch the half of the fucking Snyder Cut. That's like one of the best superhero movies made. Period. So, anyways, yeah, I don't really want to watch both. If I have to be honest, I don't. I mean, I already asked you. Hey everyone, we already spitballed this to begin with, and I straight up asked if I even have to rewatch the first Suicide Squad, because I hate that piece of shit too. And I don't want to watch it. I will, but I don't want to watch it. He's making me. So, like, but back to my question. So...
I need you to feel the pain, so then you too. Oh, it's August 5th. Hashtag release the air cut. Trending on Twitter right now. So need to motivate you to get on Twitter to hashtag release the air cut.
So I guess if you're asking, like, within the first 5, like, which might be fair because there's 5 up to, because you have Iron Man 1 and 2, Incredible Hulk, Captain America, Thor, then Avengers. Up to you, man. I mean, so the first 5 of DCEU, first like 6 of MCU. Are you saying like that same amount of movies? Because I mean, they don't have the same amount of movies. I mean, you said it yourself. Like,
no, they don't. I was just saying like we could go through. I mean, if we're eventually going to retro review everything down the line anyway, as far as like Marvel and DC goes, we could just like trade off. Like 1 week do a Marvel, next week do a DC movie, and start from the beginning of both of those universes and actually truly see if it was as lopsided as it felt, at least in the time, because Marvel did kind of get the head start. They were like a movie or 2, maybe even 3 movies ahead by the time Man of Steel dropped. When did Iron Man drop?
By the time Man of Steel dropped, Marvel had already been through the first Avengers.
Yeah, so
I would 2013.
I just wonder if I think it'd be interesting to just go back and start both of them from each of their beginnings and truly see if Marvel really was that much better in their beginnings than DC was. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, that's the only question you got? Yeah. Yeah, the answer might surprise people.
And that's kind of why I want to do the experiment. Because people really like to forget about the beginning of the MCU. They really do.
Well, it's because, we know why. And
one banger.
I mean, 2, but the second one, yeah, will it age that well?
Nope. I will say though, hey, seeing it day 1, opening night in theaters, hype as fuck.
Right.
Very few movies have been able to replicate that hype, and you cannot take that away from that movie.
But
yes, over time, that movie does not age well.
Hey, but that hype factor, all that shit you just said, that's why the other 4 movies that are in that 6, people I think do tend to forget what you say they're forgetting, because that movie was so hype.
I guess the main point I will try to make is fuck all y'all. were way too harsh on the DCEU. Marvel came out of the gates trash for the most part, except for Iron Man 1. Yet you all beloved that universe. Should have gave DCEU a little more time.
Yeah, I mean, we can do retro reviews and point out why we make these statements, yes. And it's also like you said, Marvel just happened to get there first. So by the time that DC was wanting to do this, the expectation was up here.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas when Marvel got there first and started, the expectation is here. Marvel also only happened because Disney bought it. Because after Incredible Hulk, it was looking like it wasn't going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then Disney bought it all and said, no, we're going to spend the money to at least get this far. And like you have said before, that's where Disney was like, you know what, we're not going to quit. We're still going to make these movies.
Mm-hmm. But I think it'd be a fun little experiment. Plus, I don't know. These are movies that we obviously, for the most part, I mean, by this time we've grown up with. It seems like so it'd be kind of cool to go back and rewatch them.
Hey,
Let's say it's content. It's content. Let's go.
And I'll say I won't fully disagree on the age well, but dude, I still enjoy going back and watching the first Avengers. I do. I mean, do I watch it and I'm kind of sitting there like, that's cheesy, that's corny.
This filter looks like it's a TV movie.
Huh?
Just the Josh Whedon filter.
I was gonna say, I mean,
looks like it's a fucking TV movie.
I was gonna say that's the thing is it's a Whedon movie. I mean, I'll say this about that dude. Thank God he fucked the second one up so goddamn bad that they were like, "Oh yeah, you're out of here.
You're out of here, bud." And Warner Bros. Is like, "Oh, we'll take you, bud." You could fucking ruin our Justice League movie.
Not even just you bringing that point. It's like, yeah, what the fuck were you guys? Oh my god. Whatever. We need to stop.
Maybe I am wrong. Maybe this experiment won't go as planned. Maybe I'll just end up getting really pissed off at Warner Brothers again. But yeah, I think that
I guess really, if we're gonna do the experiment right, I mean, we do have to. I mean, do we have to watch that one? Because I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Is like, we got his version first, and then it took 4 years to get the right one. 4, 5 years, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. To be fair, we probably should watch both, but I don't know if I want to be fair when it comes to this regard. Maybe just we're at least gonna watch the Snyder Cut. We'll see about the Abomination version because legitimately watching that version like hurt my fucking soul, dude. Like I don't know if I can watch that movie again. It just hurts.
And it's hard to even be that fair because it's like, you know, it's fucking Warner Brothers' fault, man.
Mm-hmm. That's the sad thing. Like the memes and the jokes about what's the greatest DC villain ever. It's fucking Warner Brothers, dude. It's not the Joker. It's not General Zod. It's not Cheetah.
That goddamn water tower that the Animaniacs come out of.
Yeah, it's that fucking thing. That's the worst and most vicious villain in all of DC. Is that WB.
Right.
But now it's the WB Day. Capital Day.
Oh, it is fully named now Warner Brothers Discovery.
Yeah. So we'll see how this goes.
Maybe they can discover a way to make a good fucking universe.
Hey-oh! I think that wraps up this week of Tardy to the Party. Of course, we appreciate you for listening and or watching. Of course, if you don't know, if you're watching and you want an audio version, you can find us over on the old Spotify and Podbean. Give us a nice sub. raise them numbers up. We've seen great growth over there, right, Kevin? It's massive. We're blowing up on Spotify. We're charting.
I mean, we can't even figure out like the listens or the down the we get the download numbers, but and Podbean has reported that we've had downloads, but we're not sure if that's from Podbean or Spotify. Apparently Podbean is supposed to be able to tell us, but it doesn't. It doesn't break it down of which app it's on. So yeah, we still got to figure out how it. We basically need to figure out if what I'm doing is even worth the time and the effort, and us paying the money to Podbean to put this out on audio only, because we have no idea.
We have no idea. They don't tell us shit.
It's aggravating for sure, but it's really just amazing that you can be a creator and put something on there, and then Spotify itself doesn't have any way for you to like have a login to log in and see like what kind of traction your podcast
check your analytics and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. They make it real easy in YouTube. It's all right there.
Yeah, it's all right there on YouTube.
Yeah, speaking of YouTube, if you are somehow that 1, 2, 3,000 listeners,
that'd be lovely.
We have no idea, but if you happen to be one of those audio listeners and you would like to see our beautiful, beautiful faces, you can, of course, find us on YouTube. Just search Tardy to the Party or T3P, and we will eventually show up. Because that stupid, stupid song, Late to the Party or whatever it is, it shows up first. But whatever, you can find us on there. We are slowly growing up there, so thank you guys for the subs and all the watches, the likes. So the likes are definitely appreciated. You guys have no idea. That definitely helps our views go up the more likes that we have. So that has been definitely appreciated. Mm-hmm. Oh yes. Also, we are on Twitter or X. Gonna give it to you. Official T3P. If you'd like to give us a follow over there, we like to post up-to-date news that pretty much we're going to be talking about on the episode to come. Essentially, we usually just post what we're going to be talking about that week anyway. So you can find us over there. I think that wraps it up. So yeah, thank you guys all so much. As always, I'm your boy Jsib,
and I'm KP.
And not here is the Bowl, but hopefully next time he'll be back, because this has been an episode, bud. This might be one of our longest recording sections, and it's still not one of our longest episodes. So it's been a doozy getting this one up between Zoom and Skype. But thank you guys if you have made this far through this time of our lives. And we appreciate you. So until next time, see ya.
Later.
To the window, to the wall. No.